So that's what's inside the box. That's what it looks like when you open it up. Everything's wrapped up nicely, placed in place where it's supposed to be. It comes with batteries, which is pretty cool. Comes with 4 AA batteries. And that's for the light that's supposed to be in there. Comes with one filter, so that's pretty nice too. Comes with a filter. I would expect that, and then all the wires and everything you need. So here's the directions, pretty clear. As always, it tells you what tools you should have. But it shows you how to do 1 hole, 3 holes, 2 holes. So very self-explanatory, pretty easy. I put in a couple of these American standards so far, and these have always been very clear instructions. This is the filter above the counter. So if you got more than 1 hole, you can put the filter above the counter. I only have 1 hole, so I am going to have to install, let me move this, I'm going to have to install this filter underneath the counter. Probably put it right there so it has easy access, right, like right there. So this is the underwater piece that you can put the filter, or under counter piece that you can put the filter in, because I don't have any holes up there. But down here, and what I like about it is it comes out far enough so that the cupboard doesn't get in the way. So you just put it back a little bit at an angle like that, and the filter should be really easy to get to. Might put it up here, that way it's completely out of the way, but that's probably easier to get to down there, depending on where the hoses go and how they can reach it back in there. Okay, I just wanted to highlight this. This is the faucet that I removed, which is a good faucet, but it's got the there's the little lock nut right there, which is okay. It's great, right? This one, look at that. That's machined. Really nice. I just spotted that. The threads are perfect. It's definitely machined aluminum. Super good quality here. That's really nice to see. I put in a lot of these, and it's usually just this one, which is okay. There's nothing wrong with it, because you're not going to see it. But to see something like that, nice quality, that's just really cool. So that aluminum lock bracket that I showed the picture of just now is really nice. The only downside I see of that, fit up in there pretty well. The threads are super nice, so threaded right on, no problem aligning it. But the only problem I see, or the only downside of that, is if you don't have a lot of room back there. See, behind the sink and the wall, in this particular case, I have enough room to where I can just get up in there with my hand, no problem. But that's not always the case. And sometimes I'll use this tool right here to go ahead and tighten it down, because it just fits. This tool is hard to do with one hand, but this tool just pops up in right on that nut right there. Just slides up in there, all the lines go in there, and I'm able to tighten that nut up when I'm in a hard to reach space. I can just fit that up in there and tighten it up, right? Well, with that aluminum washer or lock washer, you can't really do that. And I said that it was really hard to get this thing, but I wanted to show this, so I'm actually shoved up underneath here because I wanted to show this. So even if you don't have a lot of room back here, it really is not that hard to tighten this thing down, because the threads are so nice that I could just sit there and spin it with one finger in either direction. I got it locked down now. There it goes. In either direction, and it just screws right on there. So, yeah, I think you'd be okay if there was, we got about 7 inches, 6 inches right in through here. And I have plenty of room, but the sink doesn't come down very deep. So if you have one of those sinks that was really deep, I can see having a hard time getting in here. But realistically, this is so easy to get on. You can just spin it with one finger, and you really don't need that rigid wrench to get it up in here. So I think this is really fine. Okay, so this is probably not something everybody will run into, but certainly I did. The instructions show you putting that threaded piece on there, and you putting this threaded piece on there. So I've been looking in the box for this threaded piece right here, and I finally realized that this piece right here, I've been looking for that threaded piece right there. But then I was like, well, there's that piece right there, and look what's already attached to it, the threaded piece. So I was like, oh. So 5 minutes later, I go, oh, well, I wonder if that threaded piece is attached to it already. And sure enough, it's already attached to it. So if you're reading the instructions and looking for that threaded piece right there, don't worry, it's already attached to it right there. So yeah. All right, so here it is installed. Pretty nice, actually really nice finish. I know you can't see it on there, but it is a really nice finish. First, so here's the insulation. There's the filter. The filter goes right there. This is the battery pack for the filter indicator, which is right here. You press the button, comes on, button goes off. Something I wanted to show you before I put this up is this. Okay, I didn't do it right. Hold on. It's just something to know. When it came to me, it was in the on position, right? I didn't realize that. And you take a battery out, now it's still in the on position, but the button doesn't work. So when you're installing it, just something to be aware of. Once you put the batteries in first, hook everything up, and then test it. Otherwise, that thing will just keep running until you do that. And I had to shut the water off, figure out what was going on, and then finally I figured out it was the battery that controls the button. So installation, here's the filter. This is the tube that you install if you don't put it above the sink. They said they wanted a 45-degree angle, so I just took my speed square, got a 45 and installed it. But the filter goes right in there. That's the filter right there. Just screw it in there. And then this tube right here screws into this base. So it's nice and solid. It doesn't move around like it would up above the counter. And then what I did with this is, if you look up there, I got a little hook. Sorry, it's really hard to do with one hand. Just put it on the hook, and I tuck the wires up in there, and everything's put away. So there she is, and all the wires running up through there, the hoses coming along here, and I didn't tack the hoses to the back wall because they're pinned up against the back wall pretty well. But there's the white line, or I'm sorry, the blue water line coming in, and then the white water line that goes out down here to the actual faucet head. So that's pretty cool. Really easy installation, a lot easier than I thought. I only did all this wiring because, you know, we live here, so I wanted it to be nice. You don't have to do all that, although I'd recommend it because there's a lot of loose tubes hanging all over the place, and it just looks better when you put your stuff underneath here. It won't catch on the tubes and stuff like that to mess anything up. So I would recommend tacking everything up like that. These little fixtures are really cheap at Home Depot or Lowe's. You know, really easy to get. There's that, and then I'll show you up here. So it comes down just like any other one. Handles here, really nice handle movement. It doesn't go back, it doesn't hit the wall, so that's nice. It stops right there, and it comes forward. That's the range of motion. That's the range of motion. And then there's a sprayer. Decent pressure, not as much as our last one, but not bad. I've had ones that are definitely less than this. So not bad pressure. Goes back in there easily. Our weight has that stuff in the way, so it doesn't move as clearly as if your weight was clear. And then there's just that flow. Then you turn it off, right? And let's say you want some filtered water, you just press that button, and there's your filtered water right there. And that is not coming from the main line, that's coming from that white line down there up through the handle and into the spout to give you filtered water. Now that's really cool. This house has a dirt and rust problem, so you know we have that thing over there that filters our water for us and gets rid of that. And now to have this is gonna be real nice because you know that's only a 3-gallon tank over there of filtered water, and then now we can fill up pans and stuff like that with this and not have to worry about continuously emptying and filling that thing. So this is really nice. I really like this faucet. I wish it had a little bit more pressure. That would be nice. I'm sure there's a way you can fix. Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. It's really not bad. It's really not bad. It's just the last one we had. Where is it? This guy right here is the one that I just pulled out because I really wanted the filter piece That one had a lot of pressure. So yeah, I guess I'm just used to that industrial sink. So yeah, it's nice. The light is an indicator, tells you when the battery's dying. So, you know, when the battery dies, replace it. Extra part. So it comes with this. If you wanted to put that down there, you could. If you were placing this in a sink that had 3 holes, this would cover up those extra 2 holes. That goes right there. I didn't use it because I like that look, but you know, it says it's optional. Even if you only have 1 hole, you can still use it. I just didn't. It comes with the filter like I showed before. That's the piece that tightens it to the counter if you want your filter to come up to the counter, which would be cool, but we don't have an extra hole there, so it would go underneath the counter to replace the filter every time. And then it's got these little tabs. So on the back of that battery box, there is a double-sided sticky tape, kind of like these right here, which these are given to you so you can hold your cords, right? Tack your cords to the wall. We didn't do that because I don't like when you take these off the wall, it rips. You know, these cabinets aren't very good. They're particle board and it's going to rip that off. So I didn't use these. I used the nails and a hook up there, a little screw hook up there. Just put a little pilot hole, put the screw hook in there. And I think that's easier to clean up after you're done with all of this, as opposed to use this. And you've already got to put, I already had to put holes in there when I put this in there, so it didn't bother me putting, you know, 2 more holes. Oh, another thing I want to point out is this right here. So good to know that this, if you do decide to put this over the counter, it matches that, well, obviously, right? But I just want to point that out. This right here, if you do put this over your counter, it actually looks really good. From here up, from the metal up, it would be under the counter. This white, all this white right here is the brace. The rest of it is black like this, and then you come up to the metal piece and then it's metal. And all you'll see over the counter are these 2 strips right here and nothing else. So it is very nice. It would be very nice sitting up there. It would look like just one of those little overflow valves that you had just sitting there, and you open it up, put your filter in, take your filter out. I figured I'd show it running. So here's the handle over here. It's got a really nice little handle, very smooth. It goes back only that far for hot, and then that's for your cold, so it goes up further. So if you got like something right here, it doesn't hit it, which is pretty nice. The pressure's okay, not bad. I was talking about that earlier, about the pressure. It comes down further than that. Mine keeps getting caught. Down, there it goes, see, it comes down quite a ways. And what you just saw is kind of the only thing that I would complain about this is the switch to change it from spray to flow is back here. And every time I do that, I go to grab it to switch it. It's just going to take me a while to get used to, but I hit this button every time. So when I change it, instead of putting my hand up here, I'll grab it and hit it here, and then the filter water comes on, and I got to turn that off. So that's the only thing, but I think after a while we'll get used to just putting our thumb here. But if I would have put that switch over here, if I was then put it over here, or maybe even down below that other switch down here, so it's out of the way, so you're not grabbing it. And when I grab the nozzle and I'm moving it around, you saw it earlier, I'm moving it around, your thumb just naturally sits right there. And as I'm moving it around, you easily just hit the button. So that's the only thing I say would be a little frustrating, but build quality, function, I mean, the build quality is incredible. The build quality on this thing is extremely nice. So I would say it's definitely worth every penny. The filter is awesome. That's awesome to have that right there built in. Just that switch is the only thing. The only downside of the entire faucet, I would say, is this location of that button. And if that's the only thing is that you have to learn to move around that button, well, that's not that big of a deal.